Welcome to our video tutorial on setting up an annual general meeting on the Konsento platform. We assume that you have already registered your investors, they're set up in the database, you have created your financial instruments, you have allocated the shares to your shareholders, and now we're ready to go to set up an annual general meeting. In the meeting module, you see the upcoming meetings, you also have an overview over the past meetings, and you have a button to create a new meeting. As you can see, setting up a meeting on the Konsento platform is really easy. It's a 4-step managed workflow, and I will show you the different steps. First of all, we define the meeting type. Then we give the meeting a title. For time reasons, I copy-paste this from a separate document. Then we define a date for our meeting. Let's say it's taking place on the 28th. Then we also define where the meeting is going to take place. It's going to take place online as well as in our own offices. And then we define the time. We start at 5:30 and we're done at 7 o'clock. Then we define the invitation text. This is the one that your shareholders will see when they log in to their platform once you have published the meeting. And then we have a space for personal notes. This is for your eyes only, for all the administrators of the company, but the shareholders won't see that. This is just your notes, what you have to do until you can begin with the meeting, like talking to the auditor or to the notary public. In the second step, we define the participants. All the shareholders, they are invited by default. So the software loads them from your database. Then you have the possibility to also invite other investors, such as holder of participation certificates or convertible loan lenders. This depends a lot on your articles of association if they foresee the participation of other investors as the ones that I just mentioned. If they foresee them, you can select them easily here. You have also the possibility to later on unselect them. Then in the next field of participants, we have the possibility to invite external guests. In this case, let's invite our auditor, Mr. Motzley. And Mr. Motzley has also an email address, and this one is relevant because he will receive the invitation to the meeting directly out of the platform once you send out the invitations. So therefore, it's important to add him. And you have the possibility to add further participants, external ones, like the notary public, any lawyer, for example, advisors, or also your mother-in-law. Then, in the next step, we can define the proxies. So the proxies are the representatives of the shareholders that do not participate in the AGM. That's legally required. You can either choose one from your existing shareholders, or you also have the possibility to add external ones. At least one needs to be chosen as an independent proxy. Independent means independent from the board of directors and from the management of the company. So here, the last step is the summary. These are the basic data of the AGM. And now comes the real fun part, namely setting up your agenda items. And Konsento supports you to make this really easy. We have predefined agenda items. These are the ones that occur in any AGM. So we begin with the welcome address. You see we have a title, we already have content, and if you switch the language and you are of another mother tongue than English, you see the text in your language, be it German, be it French, be be it English, we will switch back to English and continue. So the welcome address is not a voting item. Let's go back and check whether it's a voting item or not. You can always go back also and edit your agenda item, but you see, you usually don't vote on the welcome address, so we're set fine. Let's go then to the next. Let's set up the next agenda item. We click here on new item. I'm not going to set up an entire AGM, but I will get you a few examples, like the discharge of the board of directors is a very interesting one. This, of course, is a votable item, so we continue here, look at the next step. And now, according to the Swiss Code of Obligations, a board of directors is not allowed to vote on his own discharge, so we will easily unselect the board members from that voting item, which means they can see it in their own dashboard, but they're not allowed to vote on that. And now let's choose another one, a predefined one. One that's always important is the capital increase. You see here also we have already the title in there, we have the content, and the content is exactly the wording which is needed by the notary public and by the commercial register when the new capital and the new wording of the articles of association are registered in the commercial register. So here we have the possibility to just write over the amount. So we want to create a new share capital, let's say of 20,000 Swiss francs. Our shares have a nominal value of 10 Swiss francs. And we will create 2,000 new shares. And then we do the same here. We refer to the articles of association. Just change what we need to change individually, and all the rest is already set, and so on and so forth. For time reason, I will jump forward. Obviously, this is a votable item. This is something that needs to be testified by the notary public, so you can click this here, and then Konsento will organize you a notary public who will do his testification online during your online meeting. Now here, everybody is entitled to vote, and we go back. Now, basically the meeting is set up. You can always add new agenda items. You can also change the order of agenda items, but once you're set, everything is controlled. You have the possibility to publish the meeting. Publishing means that the shareholders in their shareholder dashboard will see the meeting. I will show you this in a different video. And then you also have the possibility to send out invitation emails to all participants like your shareholders, the proxy people, but also the external guests that were invited. So we confirm here, and emails will be sent out.